My name is Carla Padilha. I am a Brazilian attorney working with international clients on inheritance, real estate, and tax planning in Brazil. Today, I want to walk you through something that seems simple, which is buying property in Brazil as a foreigner, but actually hides layers of legal and tax complexity. If you are a non-resident planning to buy now and later become a resident, the timing of your move, the way you structure the purchase, and even how you bring money into the country can decide whether your investment grows or collapses under tax pressure. Let's start from the ground. Yes, foreigner can buy real estate in Brazil. The first step is obtaining a CPF, the Brazilian taxpayer number, without which you cannot register a property. With the CPF in hand, you can purchase your own property freely. Rural property and land near borders. Those are restricted and require government authorization. Now, here comes the first red flag. How do you send money into Brazil? If you transfer through informal channels or private arrangements, you will not have, I will repeat, you will not have the central bank registration. And without that, you cannot legally take your money out again. The solution is simple, but non-negotiable. Always use an official bank. Always register your funds. Now imagine you remain a non-resident. Your tax exposure in Brazil is limited. You will pay property tax, IPTU, and if you rent your property, the government will tax the rental income at a flat rate withheld at the source. And if you sell, there is capital gains tax, normally between 15 and 22%. But here's the advantage. Brazil does not touch your global income while you are a non-resident. Your salary abroad, your dividends, your investments remain outside Brazilian taxation. But the moment you cross the line into residency, everything changes. Stay more than 183 days in a 12-month period or register a permanent visa, and suddenly you are a Brazilian tax resident. That means your worldwide income and assets must be reported and are subject to Brazilian taxation. I often see foreigners fall into this trap without noticing. They start spending more time in Brazil, they register their visa, and suddenly the tax authority sees them as residents from day one, retroactively. That is why timing is crucial. Okay, what about financing? That's what you all ask me about. As a non resident, don't expect banks to offer you a mortgage. In practice, property purchases are made in cash or through carefully structured project finance if you are investing on a larger scale. And here's another red flag: never rely on private contracts alone. In Brazil, ownership only exists, I will repeat, only exists once your deed is recorded at the real estate registry. No registration, no ownership, no matter what you paid. So, when's the best time to buy? Usually, buying before you become a tax resident gives you more flexibility. You bring the money through the official system, you register it properly, and you avoid immediate exposure of your worldwide income. Buying after residency is possible, but by then you must also declare every asset you hold abroad and every income stream every year in Brazil. Sometimes the smart strategy is to buy through a Brazilian holding company, sometimes in your own name, and sometimes through offshore structures aligned with estate planning. It depends on your long term goals. The red flags keep appearing if you don't prepare. Money without FX registration, residency trigged by accident, properties carrying hidden tax or labor liens, and inheritance rules that force you to reserve half of your estate for heirs no matter what your will says abroad. Each of these traps has a legal solution, but only if you anticipate it. You know that saying, genius is making complex simple. And buying real estate in Brazil as a non resident is not just about signing a contract, it's about connecting law, tax, and timing. Do it right, and you secure a valuable asset and a smooth transition into residency. Do it wrong, and you may face frozen capital, tax audits, or family disputes. My name is Carla Pad. I am a Brazilian attorney bringing clarity on Brazil's legal landscape to an international audience. If you are considering buying or selling real estate, probating an inheritance, or structuring your investments in Brazil, visit p41.com or send me a message. And don't forget, like and subscribe so more people in your situation can get this information. See you in the next one. Muito obrigada.